Today I'm going to teach you how to make banana bread. Now with banana bread, I don't buy bananas in specially to make the bread. What happens is I buy bananas on a regular basis, maybe once a week or so, and every so often one or two will be left to go a little bit overripe so that my family won't eat them. If that's the case, instead of throwing them away, I'll pop them into a freeze bag and put them in the freezer until I've got enough to make a banana bread, which I have at the moment. I've got 3 bananas, so I'm going to make a little banana bread, yeah, it just saves waste, really. Banana bread does take nearly an hour to cook, so always make sure that you've got long enough in your budgeted time to be able to cook it. Because it's kind of like a cake, excuse me, because it's kind of like a cake, it's you need to be very specific with your ingredients. It's not one of these things where you can say, okay, as long as it looks like this, it's okay, I'll add a bit more of this. You do need to weigh or measure your ingredients. I don't have scales, so I use cups, which are here. The reason I have that is because I use a lot of American recipes in my cooking, and I always have, so I've never had any scales. I find these really accurate to use though, and I think they're about £1.50 at the supermarket, so not expensive at all. Okay, so I've got my bananas out of the freezer. These have defrosted, I hope anyway, and I'm going to be using this dish. I usually use one that's a bit bigger, but I've lent it to a friend, and haven't had it back yet, so I'm going to halve my normal ingredients. I'm just going to put this bit of oil in my dish. The oven's preheating to gas mark 4. I'm just going to oil my dish so that it doesn't stick. If you're using a non-stick dish, then fair enough, you don't need to use any oil. And I just don't want to leave anything to chance, so there we go. Put that to one side. Okay, this is my own recipe that I've devised over time in my little book. There we go, where are we? There you go. So you can use that exact if you want, but I'm actually halving at the moment to make a smaller one. Okay, so I've got a bowl with a sieve. Preheating my oven to gas mark 4, which is 350 Fahrenheit or 175 C. I'm going to combine my flour, baking soda and salt together. So, 1 cup of flour. You can use self-raising flour if you want, or you can use plain flour. It doesn't matter in this one because we are using baking soda, which helps the rising process. So 1 cup. Into my sieve over the bowl. The reason I use a sieve and sieve it all together is to make a lighter, fluffier cake. So that's the flour, baking soda, so it's ½ teaspoon of baking soda. Don't put too much in, otherwise it tastes like rotten eggs. Let's grab my water, sorry. And salt. Just a pinch of salt. Yeah. Okay, we'll sieve that together.
What are you making?
Banana bread.
Yay! I'd like some of that, please.
Okay. My daughter absolutely loves banana bread. Alright, so we've combined those together. In a separate bowl, I need to cream together the butter and brown sugar. So I'm going to get just a little one. So I need 1/4 cup of butter,
and a third of a cup of brown sugar. I've got my quarter measuring cup. I'm really bad with this actually, I just plonk it in. So there's a quarter of a cup of butter. And what did I say now? Butter and brown sugar. So that's a third of a cup of brown sugar. Doesn't really matter which brown sugar you use. It's totally up to you. That's my third of a cup of brown sugar. It's been quite chilly in my kitchen, so my butter is quite firm. In the summer, this is really easy. Let's give it a quick stab to help break it down and get the sugar start to be mixed in with it. I love brown sugar in bacon. It gives the cakes such a rich flavour. I have to watch what sugars I have because I'm allergic to, or intolerant to, sorry, a lot of manufactured products, the preservatives used in them. So I can't have plain white sugar, I have to have pure unrefined cane sugar. Otherwise I get migraines, which unfortunately means that I also can't eat, can't eat very many sweets. So if you get like a packet of Starburst or what are they called? Fruit pastels. Fruit pastels are my favourite, but I can only eat 3 before I get a headache. So a pack lasts me about a week actually. So when I make things myself, I can pick the sugar that goes into it. I know there's no preservatives. It means that I actually get to have treats as well. This is getting well combined now. It's creaming together, so you can see that the sugar has actually gone a lot lighter already. I love these little glass bowls. These are what I make my Christmas puddings in, so I have got quite a few of them. Okay, as you can see, it's a lot lighter than what it started out at. And it's quite creamy, so that will do. Can't see any lumps of butter, it's all mushed in together. Okay. Stir in the egg, so I'm going to use 1 egg. I don't know why I've got, oh yeah, I've got 2 because I was going to do the same. So we've got 1 egg, just 1 normal plain egg. Just going to mix that in with that as well. Now once you've been making this for a while, you can start adding other bits that you like. So if you want walnuts in, get to learn how to make it first. And yeah, then you can think, that might taste nice with. Add some walnuts or add some dried fruit. Goes really well with raisins and sultanas. Or raisins or sultanas, whichever. Doesn't need to be both. Gives it an extra little bit of flavour. And it's quite lumpy, but that's okay. Okay. Now what we want is 3 bananas. Now because I've frozen these, I'm not going to mash these, gross. Actually, once you've frozen them, they are disgusting, by the way. So if you do decide to do that, then bear that in mind. Woo! Okay. Because these have been frozen and then defrosted, you don't need to pre-mash them. But if you do decide to use fresh, then you'll need to mash them when you put them in, or before you put them in. But yep, these are disgusting. Bananas are disgusting. And they actually smell like they're fermenting as well. Which they might be because they were overripe when I put them in the freezer. This one's still a little bit frozen, but it'll be alright. That's 3 bananas. Now I'm going to wash my hands because that's gross. Okay. Into your eggs, sugar and butter mixture. Use a fork if it's easier, or a spoon, or a wooden spoon. It's totally up to you, whichever you feel more comfortable with. Don't let someone say to you, oh, you need to do it like this, you need to whisk it this way, or you need to stir it with this. Because it doesn't really make any difference, just make yourself more comfortable, make it easier for you. You can do it in a food processor if you want. I have a food processor. Oh, I just realised what I've got. Sorry, excuse me. Squished banana on my lap. There we go. I accidentally paused you and unpaused you while I was getting the squished banana off of my laptop. Sorry about that. Yeah, I have got a food processor, but don't actually use it. I only tend to use it if I'm making meringues or something that needs whisking for a really long time. So that's fine. I'm actually going to add some dried fruit into mine if I've got any. Oh, I've already got it out. Oh, sorry about that banging, it's my cupboards. I've got these really old-fashioned 1960s cupboards. They're in the middle of upgrading. Okay, now I'm going to put... these are sultanas. I think these are sultanas. What's left in there? So it's a good size handful. Yeah, these are just normal plain sultanas. Just to give it a little bit more flavour. And a little bit different texture. Everyone in my family likes these, so it's fine to add in. Okay. And then we'll pour this. Just pop it straight into your flour mixture. Just sit there a second. Now I want to stir this gently just to make it nice and moist. If you overstir it, you will make it very, very dense. And what you want is a nice, light bread. So stir it nice and gently. Make sure all of the flour is covered in mixture. folding it like this, you're keeping air in the batter rather than beating the air out. And it's the air that keeps the cake nice and moist and light. Right. We're ready now, that looks like that, to pour it into our prepared baking pan, baking dish, whatever you want to use. As long as it is oven proof, it's fine to use. Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't use something. As long as it is oven proof, you're okay. You can get silicone baking dishes. Always make sure if you're using silicone that you put it on an oven tray because they're not overly firm. So until your cake starts to cook, it's not overly stable in the oven.
Can I help you?
I'm almost finished, sweetheart, actually. The only thing I need help with in a minute is the washing up.
I won't help with that.
Okay, so that's now ready to go into the oven. So it goes into the oven for between 50 and 60 minutes or until it's cooked through, and you test that right at the end or right near the end when you think it's done by popping a toothpick or a knife into the centre. If it comes out clean, then it's done. I'll be back in about an hour. So the banana bread's been in the oven for 45 minutes now, but it's looking quite golden brown on top. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a check with my knife. And it's coming out clean when I stab it. So that's ready. I'm going to take it out now. There we go. So what we want to do is leave this to cool down in the dish for about 10 minutes. And then we'll turn it out onto a wire rack to allow it to cool properly, and then you can serve it. Just simple as that, really. All done. Enjoy.